Hi, everybody. I want to welcome you to this next session. It's our brick and mortar focus of planning your online strategies for the new normal. My name is Jason Rosenberg, and I'm here with my business partner, Itsek. And we can go to the next slide. We're just a quick overview of who we are and our experience to frame this session. Both Itsek and I have been in the online gaming industry for since the early 2000s. Together, we have over 30 years of experience in iGaming and social gaming, and we've provided industry expertise to over 50 online gaming and brick and mortar operators. We work with casinos all over the world and regulatory bodies to bring them into new technology. So whether they're looking to get into online gaming for real money, or social gaming, or skill games, or engagement systems, any new technology, we are able to come in and help from the concept all the way through it being launched and running and generating revenue. We also are trainers for Clarion's Totally Gaming Academy, and we're really happy to be here and be doing this session today. We're going to start off real quick here. So Itsek, why don't you take it away with the next slide on a brief overview of this session.
Thank you, Wolf. Can go to the next slide. So in order to frame the conversation and what we are about to present, let's start with an assumption that I think is a fairly reasonable one. Many operators out there have not fully embraced the opportunities that online gaming and online engagement offer, and would like to consider doing that as part of the new normal after this whole crisis is over, or as we go back into a new reality. So the idea here in this presentation is to try to understand what are those options, what should they consider, and what are the best ways to go about that. So let's get started with option number one on the next slide. And that's pretty much is the most obvious choice. That's going to be our number one option, which is real money online gambling, be it casino, sports betting, poker, any other vertical variation that's going to be allowed and permitted. The key word here is allowed and permitted. This is usually not just a choice or a decision that's made by the operator, be it a commercial, a tribal operator, regardless of the size. The process for this one is usually going to start with regulation, with legal, and therefore only then we're able to evaluate it. We're not going to spend much time on this as people that grew in the online gaming industry. This will definitely be our number one option. When we look at a vision for a brick and mortar property that is going online, we definitely see this is a great opportunity. However, we must say that as much as this is a great opportunity in order to generate revenue, in order to create a brand new offering for your database and for your player base, it's also probably the most complicated and expensive to launch, to market, and to operate. So this is, when you embark on this journey, it's quite a commitment, it's a lengthy process, and again, your starting point is going to be with the regulatory landscape and everything that follows. As said, option one, we're not going to discuss in detail. We're just going to say that when you can, it will definitely be our recommendation to try to engage in any type of real money online gambling offering in casino, sports betting, or other verticals. We're going to switch now to some additional verticals and opportunities that we'd like to discuss a bit more in depth. Wolf?
Yeah, so moving on to the next slide, we have option two. And as Itsek said, we've got, option one is the most lucrative for opportunity for revenue generation. Social gaming is the fastest and easiest path to offering customers a branded casino-style gaming experience without the regulatory hurdles. And what social gaming is, very simply, players are able to play slot games or bingo or keno or video poker or whatever other vertical you want to put in there, but they're using a virtual currency that can never be redeemed. Social gaming is players are able to get coins for free. They're able to also purchase additional coins to continue playing if they run out. The other feature that social gaming has is what we call a metagame. The metagame components are really the game around the game. There are missions and quests and levels and all sorts of mechanisms that are designed to keep the player playing. They're very effective, and this in the United States alone is over $1 billion industry. Globally, I believe it's around 3. But what we're able to do is use these metagame components and our brick and mortar cross marketing to really keep players engaged. We also have we're able to give out rewards in certain circumstances, which we will discuss in the next slide. But we're able to reward players and get them to redeem those rewards physically in the brick and mortar property, which ensures that they are going to come and will will have increased visitation from our players. The monetization from social gaming is a result of the virtual currency sales that players will buy and the increased player visitation. When they do come in to redeem a reward, they're going to play. They're going to buy something to eat. They're going to use some of the amenities at your brick and mortar casino. We've seen several operators that have, we know several operators that have seen a direct increase in the player value from players that do play online versus players that don't play online. And when they do come to the brick and mortar casino, if they're able to play the same titles, they've now trained, they've learned those games. So they know what symbols they're looking for to get the bonus round. And instantly they want to put some money into that machine and play the game because they know it. It's a very effective tool when it's tracked properly. So I think we should go to the next slide because let's talk about the regulatory implications of this. Here, right now, there are no specific regulations for online social and casual gaming. And that's one of the reasons we say this is the easiest to set up. Operators are, because we are taking out, there's no rewarding, like if I come to a social gaming site and I play there and I win a bunch of chips, I can never redeem them. And I'm getting these chips for free. And even if I'm buying them, I still can't redeem them for anything. So we're taking away the pricing that is directly related to the gameplay. So theoretically, we're taking out some of the definitions of what gambling is. Now, because even though that's true, we also want to abide by some general commercial and consumer protection laws. We've seen operators that do care very much about underage. So even though this is not gambling, we want to make sure that these people are of legal age. We don't necessarily want to be on the news with our brand that says some 10-year-old stole his mother's credit card and racked up a $10,000 bill playing social gaming. So we do want to do some proper KYC. The other thing that we want to talk about is our rewards mechanisms. So and this changes from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. We have jurisdictions where I can play social gaming, and directly related to gameplay, I'm receiving a rewards currency just like I would if I put a card into a slot machine, and it's tracking my loyalty points, and I'm able to trade those loyalty points in for things at the brick and mortar like room stays or maybe a two-for-one buffet or whatever food and beverage discounts or a spa treatment or whatever amenities the brick and mortar might have. We're able to trade our loyalty points in from social gaming to get those. In other jurisdictions, we have to take the rewards mechanisms out completely out of gameplay. So, for example, how I would earn rewards points in this scenario is, one, there's a random spin that every single person has an opportunity to win rewards points randomly, or it can be as a rebate on a purchase. So, for example, if I buy $100 worth of chips, a certain percentage of that can be given back to me as a rebate in these reward points, which I'm then able to buy things in a store, again, like a golf round or whatever food and beverage offers or branded merchandise that you want to give away. We're able to accommodate that with the rewards mechanisms in social gaming. So with that, I think we want to go to the next slide. And Itsek, you are going to take over here.
Yeah, so we'll essentially describe a little bit of what is social gaming, the concept of social gaming. And we felt it's important to still discuss these points. Even though social gaming have been around for a long time, the reality is that for many real money gaming people like us, when this whole phenomenon of social gaming started, we were thinking, hey, why bother? Why would people do that if they cannot really win anything? And the reality is that they do, and this is still a very lucrative opportunity. So let's discuss a little bit of the why we want to offer that. And essentially, we're looking at making the social gaming product an extension of our brick and mortar offering. And the ability here that we have is to launch a product that's going to work in a branded way in direct support of our hotel and casino operation. Okay, it will most likely primarily cater to your existing patrons, your database. It's just going to offer an additional way for them to engage with your brand when they're off property. And like we've described, that's with relatively minimum efforts and with no major legal hurdles. So the benefits that we're seeing when we do that is that brick and mortar operators are able to, and by the way, any other gambling operators, not just brick and mortar, or any other operators that have the relevant database with affinity to casino style games, can engage customers with a branded experience off property. That's probably is the number one reason that you would do that when you set up your expectations. These guys are playing with you, with your brand, and they're playing casino style games. It generates revenue. Now, depending on your database, depending on your operation and your product, it will generate more or less revenue, but this definitely is an element that generates revenue through the online monetization that we've described. You can definitely use that to increase visitation at your brick and mortar facility, and that's done through either the branded experience or through the ability to communicate additional offers or through the rewarding mechanism. And lastly, we've seen this also to work for acquisition of new customers to the brick and mortar. So people that maybe have never really engaged or never thought about coming to your property, but they came across your social gaming app. And again, the hurdles to get on this app as a customer are very, very limited. There's virtually no hurdles. You download an app or you create a quick account and you're able to play. And all of a sudden, you're able to bring them on property, even though they never actually tried it, and you turn them into customers. The reality is that social casino games are very popular. We're seeing great adoption with slots players. There's great content out there. And let's be frank, many of these players that are part of your database, that are your customers, that are your patrons, are playing these games with someone. And this someone else may just be you. And that proposition here is to bring them and make them play with you, with your brand, so you can reap those rewards. Let's move on to the next slide and talk about a little bit about the how. How do we do that? And there are different ways to approach this. We've done this several times, many times actually, with different size properties from the mega properties that have huge databases and huge operations to much smaller ones that have more modest operations. And there are solutions out there that can fit all of those. And quite honestly, we also have a full training just on how we run social gaming. But for this purpose here, what we need to make sure that we partner with someone that is specializing in servicing the brick and mortar casinos. Okay, there are a lot of social gaming studios out there, definitely many providers. They don't always know how to work with a brick and mortar casino. They don't always know how to provide that B2B service. So that's the main key here. While they're great products and great offering, the idea is to definitely make sure that you work with someone that's specializing in this side of this industry. Normally, what we'll see as commercial terms are some setup fee, and that will range in price based on the complexity and the type of setup. Then there's going to be a monthly minimum that you need to pay, and there's going to be a revenue share. Now, there are several companies out there that are doing this. There's plenty more that are interested in getting into this space. But we'll see this great variety of elements that you'll find in terms of the concept, in terms of the features that they all promote, in terms of the financials. So there's definitely the need to go through this matchmaking process and understand what are the features that are important for you. How do you create a product and an offering that's compelling? How do you maximize the opportunities from here? And we'll talk more about some of those things in general as we proceed with this presentation. But elements like integration with loyalty programs can become very, very important here in order for you to maximize the opportunity and to create a winning experience for your users. There's also the question of who's doing what. Are you looking for a turnkey? Are you looking for someone that will just provide you with a platform and your staff will operate it? There's different options there as well. But just kind of in a nutshell, this is what we would like to talk about when it comes to social gaming. And as we see it, especially these days or in the new normal, we believe that social gaming will definitely be a great opportunity and quite honestly a must for pretty much any operator out there. Wolf will continue with the third option.
Yeah.
On the next slide.
Our third option of how we're able to keep our brand in front of our players when they're not at the brick and mortar, or we're not allowed to have them at the brick and mortar. We really want to discuss this. There's some new tools out there, online retention and engagement tools. These are. I'm a casino player. I don't enjoy playing with email, and I don't enjoy playing with physical mail that brick and mortar casinos send me. I like to play games. Casino players like to play games, so why aren't we giving them something that they want to engage with versus sending them some things and hoping they engage with them? As an industry, we're great at getting players to come into a brick and mortar casino, and once they leave, we're absolutely horrible at keeping our brand in front of them. So one of the ways these tools are very exciting. Both of them started that we're going to show you actually got their start in retail, but have since moved into the gaming industry. And here they're free for everyone to play. I'm going to describe them. They're free for everyone to play, so they're not gambling devices. However, the redemption, some jurisdictions may regulate the prize redemption, but they basically work like this. There's a couple different variations of this. It can be a web version of this. It can be a physical item that is required with a mobile device. But imagine if I'm a brick and mortar operator and I insure $1 million prize, and I tell you, hey, every morning when you're making coffee, check this, just check our website or touch this card to your phone, and it's your player's card, but it's got a chip in it and it's interactive. Touch it to your phone and see if you won that. Every day you have a chance to win $1 million. As a casino player, I'm going to try to win $1 million every single day. Now, we can also use the back ends of these platforms, obviously, to set odds. We can set it can be weighted rewards. We have inventory control. We've got all sorts of, there's a random number generator in it. And the point is that we're able to use this to give away, it could be nothing. It could be promotional branded merchandise that we're giving away. It could be gift cards, or again, room stays or food and beverage credit. Tickets for a random draw every month, or a combination of all these things. We have a lot of control over what we give away and how we give away, but it is random. So it's once we are able to, these prizes can be redeemed just by going with a unique code and going back to the brick and mortar. But if we're able to integrate this into a brick and mortar loyalty system, redemption is absolutely seamless, and it's a great experience for the player. They want to interact with your brand because you're giving them a game to play. That's the difference between what we're seeing. We're seeing some very successful results with these tools. Let's go to the next slide here. I would like to show the other version. So this version is a physical item. That card could be your loyalty card that actually goes in a slot machine. And when I take it home with me, I'm able to use it every single day, or maybe you have a weekly prize, whatever it is. But I know that I'm going to, when I'm not at your casino physically, I'm still going to interact with your brand. So on this slide, we do want to look at how the casino actually benefits. One, you're getting increased branding to the customers because they're touching or going to your brand on a very regular basis versus your competitors. We can also gather insights and information from the players. So, for example, every day I might get to try to win this, but maybe if I fill out a survey, I get another try. Or maybe if I watch an ad about your new promotion or your new amenity, I get another try. So you're able to keep the players involved with what's going on at your brick and mortar property, even though on a very regular basis while they're at home. We also have been seeing higher revenue from the increased visitation from player prize redemption. So when they come in, again, most of these players are not coming in to grab the brick and mortar branded hat. They're coming there for that, and they're also going to gamble, and they're going to buy something to eat and drink. And we see increased, we're able to track that if their rewards card number is attached to this, which it definitely can be. So that's some of the new online retention engagement tools. They're very exciting. I think we're going to start seeing these a lot more. So now we've covered these options of what we can do right now in this new normal to keep our players engaged, to entertain them, possibly make some good money while they are at home and not at our brick and mortar. Now we're going to get into how we make this happen.
So I'll basically do a quick recap, and essentially what we looked at we're going to have a new reality. Some operators are already there, others aim to be there. That's on the roadmap. The vision that we'd like to propose essentially is the old normal was that many casinos and hotels aim to attract guests back on property and consume their offering, be it hospitality, gaming, entertainment, but it was on property. Now, the new normal, the way we would like to propose it, should be that the branded operation spans across brick and mortar and online. And the online component can be a combination of the three that we discussed. Can be one of them, can be both of them. We definitely believe that there's room for all three of them. Even if you have real money operation going, social gaming will always have room to live next to it. And the engagement tools are always a great way for you to engage with your players if they don't want to play online, but they want to just engage and see if there's something for them to win or be a part of your brand when they're off property. So essentially, if we look at the vision of this, we can take the interaction with our patrons to a whole new level by adopting a customer-centric approach. This allows us to seamlessly and consistently interact with our customers across multiple touch points while providing a superb and meaningful experience every time they check in our hotel, check into our hotel, visit our casino, or log in to play online. And again, the idea is to make it one offering, one brand, one proposition that's going to make it that's going to wrap around the experience of the player and make it all relevant and meaningful for them. So essentially, we're going to move on now with Wolf, discussing a little bit of how we want to make it happen in terms of actionable and practical steps. So we can move on to the next slide.
Yeah, so one of the most important things that we've seen in our experience of setting up online gaming for real money or social gaming or any new technology is there has to be a joined up approach. So launching the property or whatever technology, that's the first step towards your online expansion. But the other significant element here is that we need to create a joined up approach in order to maximize this opportunity. And what that means is, and it should come from the top, it means that everyone's working together. All departments are communicating effectively and efficiently. Everyone's working together towards a certain purpose. And we're actually going to discuss a little bit more of this in the next slide. But we've seen organizations that have multiple properties that refuse to work with one another because they actually feel they're competing against one another instead of working together. We've seen certain executives that do not agree with what's going on and they fight it. There's a lot of job security issues. And so when we have this come from a CEO level or from a tribal council level, and it's a mandate, hey, we're going to be doing this. It's like opening up another property. Everyone needs to be working together towards that purpose. But we do want to use, when we start talking about the technical pieces here, we definitely want to use the experts that are people that are experts in online gaming or social gaming or whatever technology that is. they are going to know how to operate that better than the average brick and mortar staff, simply because they just don't have the experience to do it. But with that being said, we definitely want to use our brick and mortar in-house expertise. We know our players and their behavior way better than any third party ever will. So we're able to use, when we start our marketing efforts, we're able to really look at what our players are doing. We have insights of their behavior. Another piece of this is customer service. It's offered most of the time from the provider, but you know, no one's going to take care of your business and your customers like you and your staff. That should be a priority, but they need to learn that system. So in order to do that, again, we really want this. We want to see a joint approach where everyone's working together on this. Nobody's fighting. Nobody's worried about their job. It's separate. It's together we're doing this. It's just a different property than our brick and mortar, but we're all in it together. So on that, we're actually going to go to the next slide of actually having us start at the top.
Essentially, what we're going to say here, and also as part of the previous slide, may sound a bit obvious. Why are these guys wasting our time with things that we already know? Well, the reality is that for us as consultants, a lot of the time, this is the primary challenge that we're seeing. Technology is great. The technology is out there. We're seeing it used, and we can custom tailor everything the way we would like it to be. But the potential of this technology is often limited by the level of adoption by the organization and the people. So we're very big on fixing the organization, or at least adapting it so that everybody can make this vision happen. And a lot of the time, obviously, it starts at the top with the top executive that have to recognize the potential of this opportunity. If they don't buy into the vision, if they just think that we're going to go online because the competing property has it, or because I just don't want to hear about it anymore, or anything like that, if it's not part of a vision, most likely that's not going to happen. That's the nature of many of the organizations. So we want to make sure that through this top-down approach, we're able to get proper backing and adoption across the organization. So the first part we're going to start with is actually going back to the technology a little bit, and it's proper technical integration. That's going to require some efforts, okay? And what does that mean? How do we make sure that the database that is currently our gaming database or hotel database or whatever it is that's attached to the brick and mortar property can properly communicate with this new database that's related to the online property, be it real money, be it social, or any other element, online element that we're going to introduce. And it could be simple and it could be complicated, and there's some workarounds that we've tried as well. But the point is that if you can actually do a proper technical integration of understanding that, hey, this player that's now playing real money casino, or that's playing social casino, or that interacted with this offer is the same player that actually frequents our casino and comes here twice a month or every week or whatever it is that they do, we are able to collect a lot of data, gain a lot of insights. We offer our users a really good experience. They don't need to prove to us who they are. They don't need to send anything. They don't need to identify themselves. They have a very, very smooth experience. And this is really what we'd like to do. It's doable. We've done it several times, but there are challenges there. We're not going to hide those challenges. And a lot of the time, it has to do with ensuring that the people at the top understand the vision, understand the hurdles, and allocate the right resources to make this happen. You do it once, you do it right, and you can continue to offer a very good experience. The next part is the management commitment to support the online strategy. Like we said, a lot of the time, there's this vision, yeah, we need to have an online component, but often that will be completely outsourced, or we're going to see a team that's kind of tucked somewhere off property or in the back of the property, and nobody knows them. They are the online guys. Nobody really understands what they do. They're too separate. We need to keep some separation because the skills are not the same often, but we need to make sure that everybody works together, because the work of these online people will influence the experience and the work of the brick and mortar staff, and vice versa. There's going to have to be always communication. They need to be part of the same team, same organization. And again, these are things that sound obvious, but we're seeing every day, every time we engage in these processes. Okay. The next one is ensuring that we embed the new vertical across all customer-facing functions. Essentially, like Wolf said before, it has to be everywhere, ideally, in order to create this smooth experience. So now you have an online property. Can we also integrate that into the loyalty system when they make purchases, or when they make certain things or perform certain actions? Can they get rewarded as part of the same loyalty program? And that's going to motivate them to do more with us. Can we properly embed that across our marketing so that we maximize opportunities? Does the front desk person, or does the concierge, or does anyone that's on the floor, do they understand the online offering? If somebody asks them what it is, will they be able to at least give a reasonable answer, or will they say, "Oh, that's the online thing. That's not us. That's some other guy"? And that patron is not gonna try to ask. They'll just say, "Well, these guys don't know what they're offering me. I can go someplace else where I have a better experience." So these are all elements that are purely organizational, and are gonna make this whole experience much better. That goes hand in hand with providing training and ensuring that the staff is knowledgeable about the online offering. Again, you're launching a new spa, you want everybody, or a new amenity, you want everybody to know about it, right? Same goes for the online offering. Make them play, run a tournament for the staff, make sure that they engage with it, make sure that they're excited about it. They need to be able to represent it and answer some questions and provide some level of information, like you would expect them to do for everything else that's related to the online, to the brick and mortar amenities. And lastly, the reliance on and inclusion of your own in-house experts. These people probably care the most about your brand, about the viability of your business, about making sure that your guests have a great experience. They see them often, they interact with them, they probably care about it. So we need to ensure that they are able to provide their expertise. Okay, they know what these patrons are reacting to. They know what they're excited about. They have a very direct relationship with them, and that's not something that the online people will really have with many of them. They cannot see the expression of these people when they play. They cannot see if they get upset or if they're happy. They cannot see how often they come in. So there's a lot of added value that these people can bring, and it's really important that we engage with them and that we give them the opportunity to sound their voice. I think that's the keys to what we wanted to present here in short. We can go on and on about these and tell a lot of stories. I don't know if Wolf, if you have anything else that you'd like to add.
I do. I've got hours of stuff I'd like to say, but unfortunately we're out of time. So if we can move to the next slide. We do really appreciate ICE North America having us for this, and Totally Gaming Academy for hooking this up. If anyone would like a copy of this presentation, or you just have questions, definitely get a hold of us at the information that's on your screen right now. And we'd like to open it up for questions if anybody has one.